So the territory, this one has changed color obviously, as you see the outside now based on what I've shown you. I had to do a swap out, and with that swap out it means that I have downgraded as well. So this is the entry-level model. It's called the Ambiente or Ambient. It's not the Trend. It has a little bit less features. The wheels and tires are not the same as on the other car, but gotta be honest, I washed these wheels and they are difficult to wash. You can see those slits. It's the same with the other one. Small things, but it catches up. It's also from Consolidated Auto, so yeah, nothing on the outside really different from the other model. The Trend does not have an automatic tailgate, so press and lift, and then this is quite difficult to close, you know. For someone much smaller than me, you have to hang on it quite a bit. Then the driving performance is the same. It's still an 1800. Some people that I've driven the previous one with and then this one said that they can hear the engine more on this one, but I highly doubt it. I don't think it can be heard more. And then we can see that the comparative fuel consumption here says 7 liters per 100 kilometers. No. So yeah, this one does not have the leather seats. It does have fabric seats, but from a spacing point of view it is the same. From a comfort point of view it is the same. Coming to the inside of this one does not have climate control. They might want to call it climate control. I see that it does show, you know, some numbers here, but this is obviously not 1 degree, and when it goes up to the top it says 16, so it's not climate control, it's an aircon. The Trend does have climate control, dual zone in fact, so that's something that we possibly might miss, especially in winter. And then the controls are very similar. It's touch, and you've got these haptic feedback buttons. Oops, let's just take that down. Haptic feedback buttons here, that's piano black, that vibrates slightly when you click on them, and some other quick options like switching it off, and you can switch the actual aircon on and off, which in this weather of 26 degrees we prefer to have on. Yeah, some other things that are missing from here is related to functionalities that this car does not have, like the power lift tailgate, and it still has Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, normal Bluetooth for phones like mine that does not do Android Auto, and a whole lot of settings that you can go through and adjust. Not gonna go through that. Then the sound in this one, the sound in this one is a bit different from the previous one. I think we have less speakers, but it's not bad. It's not bad. Let me switch that off. Then you've got a whole lot of piano black here. It's full of fingerprints. Everything that's shiny is full of fingerprints. You have a cup holder or a container that you can use here. Then a very deep, should probably not look at that, but it's a bit of water with ice, and you can fit a lot in there, which is unfortunate because it turns into a rubbish bin. But you have a little drawer here that cannot be removed, so it won't get lost, so that you can access whatever's in there like that, or keep it here for something like your keys. That's handy. The previous model that I had did have a wireless charger over here, but this one does not have a wireless charger over here, which is just a nice to have. Like I mentioned, fabric seats instead of leather. You still have soft touch around the car, everywhere, on the dashboard, on the doors. The armrest here has soft touch. This armrest has soft touch. Even on the back seats, it's the same quality on the back seats. So soft touch on the armrest as well. Windows don't go all the way down with one press, not even the driver, whereas with the Trend it did do that for all four windows, from here as well as from the back, right? So yeah. Everything else is high quality in there. You can see these bulky aluminium door handles. Everything feels good from a quality point of view. Nothing squeaks, nothing rattles, and I appreciate that very much. On this specific version, you have to switch on your own headlights and your own wipers, but like my father-in-law says, if you are not used to it, then you're not going to miss anything. Unfortunately, I am quite used to it. An issue that I had with the previous one that we drove is that there was a tug to the steering wheel when you picked up speed to about 120 kilometers an hour. I'm gonna exaggerate this now. I haven't felt it on this car yet, and I have done 120 kilometers an hour in this car, but this is basically what it felt like on 120 kilometers an hour. But not as much and not as hard. While I would keep my finger here, I'd feel a little bit more pressure on the steering wheel, slightly. It doesn't push you out of the lane or anything like that, but I was a bit concerned with that happening, not knowing what the electronics or power steering motor is doing. Okay, so I got this one. Fortunately, tested it out, did not have that issue. I didn't pick up that issue. So that's definitely a positive if it doesn't happen to every car, but it also makes you think about why it's there in the first place in the cars that we had. But let's do 0 to 100 kilometers an hour pull from here. You can see that. Afrikaans of Engels?
Nee, dit is nie Engels.
Okay, Afrikaans. Vertel vir die mense, wat dink jy van hierdie volk territories? Ry vir jou lekker?
Ry lekker, maar nie so lekker soos 'n bakkie nie.
So lekker soos jou bakkie nie?
Ja. Hy is baie lig op die pad. Zijn weerstand not so great.
Okay.
Hy is rats. Wanneer jy petrol trap gaan hy. As jy stil staan en dan petrol trap, dan is daar 'n lag.
Lag, ja. Hy loop selfs 'n bietjie agtertoe as jy op 'n opdraandjie staan. Dan loop hy eers 'n bietjie agtertoe voordat hy vorentoe gaan. En dit is iets snaaks van outomaties. Ja. Die boetes gekry met hom op pad skool toe en terug hier weer?
Ek hoef nie so nie. Ek het my speed control gebruik.
Op wat? Op 80? Of op 100?
75.
Op 75.
Ja.
Okay.
Die brieke is vir my weird.
Die brieke is baie sensitief.
Nie net dit nie, partykeer trap jy briek en dan voel dit as jy hom nie trap nie, dan moet jy hom nog harder trap en dan briek hy. So ek weet nie of dit user error is of daar nou wel ietsie aan die brieke is nie.
Die brieke is baie goed, hulle werk want hulle moet, ons het dit getoets, ek het dit getoets. Ja, en dan hierdie is auto start stop, so as jy die briek ver genoeg intrap en jy het nou 'n entjie gery, dan gaan die kar af, sluit die kar af.
Ek dink wel dit gebruik meer brandstof.
Dink jy dit gebruik meer brandstof? Is moontlik, ek weet nie. En dan as jy die briek los, dan vat hy 'n rukkie om aan te sluit en te besluit om te gaan en intussen het jy nou al die brandstofpedaal 'n bietjie ingetrap en dan gaan hy.
Ja.
Ja.
Wel weer is die skerm wanneer dit kom by climate control en goed. Dit is nie altyd user friendly wanneer jy jou foon gekonnekteer het nie. Jy weet nie regtig waar om wat te druk om.
Ja, die prentjies en goed vir die climate control ensovoorts gaan weg op die skerm wanneer jou Android Auto connect is. Dan moet jy eers een van die haptic touch buttons druk voordat iets opkom vir jou om te sien. So ja, dit was baie tyd. Ek het ook gesê dat baie tyd wat in die skerm ingaan. Jy is baie tyd weg van die pad af wat jy nie vir die pad kyk nie. Dat jy vir die skerm kyk as gevolg van wat ook al.
Waar jy temperatuur hoër stel, so sê nou maar jy wil hom op 19 grade hê, daar's nie 'n 19 grade nie, daar's net van 'n 0 tot ek dink 'n 16 as ek dit reg het. Maar ek weet nie wat 16 beteken nie op sy warmste, maar
Ja.
warm is 16.
Dit is gewoon, dis nie 'n climate control kar nie, dis net 'n gewone aircon. So 16 beteken maar net die warmste en 1 beteken die koudste en jy moet bepaal wat jy tussenin wil hê. Soos my karretjie wat jy moet tussen die blou en rooi stel basis.
Ja, maar blou en rooi is my beter as 1 tot 16.
Ek stem saam.
Dis confusing.
1 tot 16 het nie 'n betekenis nie. Ja, en dan almal van ons, weet jy, is gek oor die Everest.
Ja.
So, obviously is die Everest nou maar soos 'n bakkie en vir grootte gewys. Maar as jy dit nou
klein nie.
Nee,
Ek kry nog steeds al my skoolgoed hier binne. Die karre druk jou nie sommer van die pad af as soos wat jy nou 'n kleiner karretjie sou gery het nie, vir al die taksies. Ek wat lank is, klim maklik in en uit die kar uit. Was nie regtig.
makliker is die bakkie for that matter.
Ek klim maklik in die bakkie.
Nee, nog steeds.
Maar ja.
Jy klim in die bakkie in en klim uit die bakkie uit. Passenger accommodations, toe ons nou wel tent was, hoe was die rit agterin gewees vir jou?
Gemaklik, maar jy hoor baie meer die pad agter as wat jy voor hoor. Bekol toe ek nou probeer slaap het. As jy oor 'n hobbel gaan of deur 'n dippie gaan, ek weet nie of dit die shocks is wat geklap het of iets nie, maar jy hoor dit duideliker agter, ek dink as wat jy het voor sou hoor. Maar beenspasie is fantasties.
Beste wat ons al gehad het.
Veral hierdie kar in vergelyking sien maar met die Audi A4.
Die Audi het baie gehad.
Maar nie so baie soos
nie so
die
baie
een
soos die ene nie.
Ja.
Ek dink nie eers die Everest het so baie beenspasie agter soos hierdie een nie, want hy is maar gebaseer op die bakkie. Ja.
Wat verkeerd is
Ja.
met hierdie outomaties, al hierdie spesifieke een, as jy nou 'n bietjie gas gegee het en jy los die pedaal en jy gee weer gas, is dit asof die kar nie regtig weet wat se rad hy moet wees.
As jy nou so 'n spesifieke een, al twee die territories of hierdie een? Sê vir ons wat is jou verdict vir die mense daar buite? Sal jy sê hulle moet na die kar gaan kyk in pleks van Toyota RAV4 of Mitsubishi ASX of
Glad nie 'n Mitsubishi ASX nie. Ek hou nie van.
Dit is as gevolg van die
radkars.
CVT radkars. Hierdie
dit
het
is-
nie 'n CVT radkars.
En hy het ook baie pad lawaai gehad.
Ja, nee, ek bedoel maar net.
Ek weet nie van 'n RAV4 nie.
Mazda CX-5 is jou pa se.
Ek hou meer van die een as van die Mazda.
Okay.
Maar die Mazda is bietjie, ek dink, hoër.
Nee, ek dink nie so nie. En dan ek het gesê hulle kan gerus na hierdie gaan kyk in plaas van die Chinese produkte.
Kyk, as ons nie 'n bakkie gehad het nie en ek moes kyk na 'n nuwe kar, sal ek definitief kyk na die kar, want van die begin af toe hy uitgekom het, het ek vir jou gesê ek hou van hoe die kar lyk.
Daar is julle antwoord. Half dit is, sy kyk definitief na die kar. So what do I personally think about this car? I like it a bit. I'm a brand loyal person. A lot of you would disagree, but I like looking out for brands that I've had before and that I had success with before, meaning Ford in this case. I would definitely look at this as an alternative to the Toyota Corolla Cross. No, it's supposed to be a competitor for the RAV4. I would definitely look at this as a competitor to the RAV4. It also depends what you're going to do with your RAV4, but like I said, this is probably more of a school runner car, to work and back type of car. It's not a tourer, although we've been to the Kruger National Park with this car. It does gravel roads well, it does bad roads well, because we passed by Dahlstrom on our way to Orpengate, and the roads are not wonderful, not bad by the way, but they're not wonderful, and I'd say that it's good. We spent 20 hours in the car on that day, because we left early morning at 12:30, 1 o'clock. We drove to Orpengate, we entered, we spent a lot of hours in the Kruger National Park, and we came out at Kruger Gate, Paul Kruger Gate, and we came back home. And I must say, last year we did the same thing, and in another vehicle, and this was a major improvement on that. It is an SUV, so it does drive softer than a bakkie or smaller cars with smaller wheels, of course, but I'm very satisfied with how it drives. I think me driving a lot of cars over the last 10 years makes you appreciate the little things, some little things, and that differs from person to person, but the compromises that you have to go through are possibly things that you can get over, and get used to. No reverse camera. For my wife, it's a big one. It's a big one for my wife. I can live without the reverse camera. My own car does not have a reverse camera. It still has the parking sensors at the back. It doesn't have at the front. It would be nice to have them at the front. If you've never had them, wouldn't be a problem. It's an improvement. Automatic windows. It's a small thing. I appreciate having automatic windows. This thing of holding the key fob to open up all the windows at once. When you unlock the car, I use that quite often on our own cars. I don't use it on this car because it's not there. I've tried to use it, but it's not there. So the verdict is, have a look at it, take it for a test drive. It's an 1800, which is larger than most of the Chinese cars that are currently on the road. The fuel consumption is just as bad, better than the Chinese brands, but it's not as good as Ford says. Ford says 7, we've got 9.8. That includes highway driving, good driving. We got about 7.6 when we really tried at 120 kilometers an hour, possibly a bit less than 120 kilometers an hour. That gives you an idea. You'll get it to 7 if you do 105 and you don't stop and you don't go uphill, you go a bit downhill the whole time. That's what I want to say. Okay.